Please subscribe to this channel for more videos related to Catholic Christian teaching. At the end of the 1st century, the Judaizing heretics, Cerinthus and the Ebionites, holding rigidly to the doctrine of unipersonal monotheism, stating that there is only one person in God. This, in effect, denies the divinity of Christ. Toward the end of the 2nd century, Monarchianism taught that there was only one person in God. We hold fast to the monarchy. According to its attitude towards the person of Jesus Christ, Monarchianism falls into two main divisions: adoptionist and modalist. Judaizers were Christians who continued to adopt various Jewish practices of the Mosaic laws, such as the observance of Sabbath and circumcision. The Judaizing heretics hold rigidly to the doctrine of unipersonal monotheism, stating that there is only one person in God. Adoptionist Monarchianism teaches that Christ is a mere man. Even although born in a supernatural manner from the Holy Spirit and of the Blessed Virgin, at his baptism he was equipped by God with divine power in extraordinary measure and was adopted by him in the place of a son. The principal exponents of this erroneous doctrine were Theodosius, the Tanner of Byzantium, who brought this doctrine to Rome and who was excommunicated from the Church by Pope Victor I, Paul of Samosata, Bishop of Antioch, who was deposed as a heretic at a synod at Antioch, and Bishop Photinus of Sirmium, who was deposed by a synod of Sirmium. Modalist Monarchianism accepts the true divinity of Christ, but admits only one person in God, by teaching that the Father had become man in Jesus Christ and had suffered. The principal representative of this erroneous teaching were Noetus of Smyrna, against whom St. Hippolytus wrote, and the confessor from Asia Minor, Praxias, who refuted by Tertullian. Sabellius extended this false doctrine to the Holy Spirit and taught that in God there was one hypostasis and three prosopa, corresponding to the three different modes by which he revealed himself. The one person in God revealed himself as a Father in the creation, as a Son in the redemption, as the Holy Spirit in the works of sanctification. Pope Callistus excommunicated Sabellius from the Church. Sabellianism was combated in a rather unhappy fashion by Dionysius the Great, Bishop of Alexandria, and was authoritatively condemned by Pope Dionysius. In contrast to Sabellian modalism, Subordinationism admits three different persons in God, but denies the consubstantiality of the second and third persons with the Father, and therefore their true divinity. The Alexandrian priest Arius taught that the Word does not exist from all eternity. He is not generated from the Father, but is a creature of the Father, created by Him from nothing before all the other creatures. According to His essence, He is unlike the Father, hence the designation a homoiens, and He is mutable and capable of development. He is not, in the proper and true sense, God, but only in the improper sense, insofar as He, in anticipation of His merits, was adopted by the Father as a Son. This erroneous doctrine was condemned at the First General Council of Nicaea. The council drafted a creed which confesses Jesus Christ to be the Son of God, His generation from the substance of the Father, His true divinity, and His consubstantiality with the Father. The Semi-Arians took up a middle position between the strict Arians and the defender of the Nicene Creed. They rejected the expression because they believed that it favored Sabellianism, but admitted that the Word was similar to the Father, thus called homoiens, either similar in all things or similar in nature, and therefore called homoousians. The Pneumatomachy, a sect of the Semi-Arians which is said to have been founded by the Semi-Arian bishop Macedonius of Constantinople, extended the notion of subordinationism to the doctrine of the Holy Spirit by declaring the Holy Spirit to be a mere creature, a mere ministering spirit like the angels. Against this error, Saint Athanasius, the great Cappadocian Church Fathers, and Didymus of Alexandrian defended the divinity of the Holy Spirit and His consubstantiality with the Father and with the Son. Macedonianism was condemned at the Synod at Alexandria under the presidency of Saint Athanasius, at the Second General Council of Constantinople, and again at a Roman Synod under the presidency of Pope Damasus I. The Council of Constantinople made an important addition to the Nicene Creed, and by ascribing divine attributes to the Holy Spirit, asserted His divinity, at least indirectly. And in the Holy Spirit, the Lord and Giver of life, who proceeds from the Father, who together with the Father and the Son is adored and glorified, who has spoken through the prophets. The Christian commentator on Aristotle, John Philoponus, identified nature and person and adopted monophysitism in his Christology and Tritheism in his doctrine of the Trinity. According to him, the three divine persons are three individuals of the Godhead, as three men and three individuals of the species man. Thus, he would replace the numerical unity of the divine nature by a unity of essence in species. Monophysitism is a Christological teaching that the person of Christ consisted of a single divine nature or a united divine and human nature in which the human was absorbed by the divine. The full humanity of Christ was not upheld. Canon Roscelin of Compiègne, from his nominalist perspective, according to which only the individual possesses reality, taught that the three divine persons are three separate realities, which are connected with one another morally only through the agreement of will and power, just as three angels or three human souls might be. His teaching was combated by Saint Anselm of Canterbury and condemned at the Synod of Soissons. Nominalism in simple terms is the doctrine which teaches that general or abstract words do not stand for objectively existing entities, and that universals are no more than names assigned to them. Gilbert of Poitiers, according to his opponents, persisted a real difference between God and divinity, and a real difference between the divine persons and the divine essence, so that there would result a quaternity in God, three persons plus Godhead. This alleged teaching of Gilbert, which is not at all apparent in his writings, was rejected at the Council of Reims in the presence of Pope Eugene III. Abbot Joachim of Fiore conceived the unity of the three divine persons as a collective unity. His teaching was rejected at the Fourth Lateran Council, and the teaching of Peter Lombard, which he had attacked, was solemnly approved. Anton Gunther taught that the Absolute determined itself three times successively in a process of self-realization as thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. The divine substance, he asserted, is thus tripled. The three substances are then attracted to one another through consciousness and thus make up a formal unity. Luther contested the traditional Trinitarian terminology, but he held fast to belief in the Trinity. The subjectivism preached by him, however, ultimately led to a disavowal of the dogma of the Trinity. Socinianism, established by Faustus Sozzini, from its basic rationalistic attitude, expounded a strict unitary concept of God, which did not admit a plurality of divine persons. It declared Christ to be a mere man, and the Holy Spirit an impersonal divine force. Socinianism is most famous for its non-Trinitarian Christian beliefs about the unitary nature of God and the human nature of Jesus. It denies the divine foreknowledge regarding the actions of free agents and rejection of the pre-existence of Christ. The newer rationalistic theology generally holds to the traditional terminology, but sees in the three persons only the personification of the divine attributes, such as might, wisdom, and goodness. According to Harnack, the Christian concept of the Trinity developed from the polemic between Christianity and Judaism. At first, only the duplex formula God and Christ existed as antithesis to God and Moses. Later, the Holy Spirit was added. Please go to YouTube Retimentality channel, playlist Dogma and God for the complete series of these materials.